So what we have covered in our last session, we have worked on what is a class component and how to create a constructor in a class component by typing RCONST shortcut basically. Then we have worked on this dot state, how to create a state variable, how to assign values to state variable, and we have also worked on life cycle methods like component did mount, component will unmount, should component update, render, and we have also worked on parent classes like component, pure component, and differences also. Difference between these two parent. This is what we have worked on all these things. Okay. And today we are going to start working on the MongoDB. We are going to start working on MongoDB. We have all these days we have worked on data architecture basically, client, database, middleware, client middleware, and database. Client to middleware, middleware to database, database to middleware, middleware. And when it comes to database part, we have worked on MySQL database. For this, we should learn MySQL. For this, we should learn SQL. Basically, should learn SQL to perform that operations. And today we are going to start working on MongoDB. MongoDB is also a database, but this is a NoSQL database. That means no need of install, no need of any SQL here. Everything handles with the functions with parameters. Whatever you wanted to get it, you wanted to send it. Basically, CRUD operations. If you wanted to perform CRUD operations here, you have to use SQL. You have to use a perform. If you wanted to perform CRUD operations here, you have to use functions with parameters. That we are going to learn from today onwards on MongoDB. Right? We have mainly two concepts left. Other concepts there are also there, but mainly two concepts. One is MongoDB, and the other is the Redux. These are the major concepts which are left. This will take around 5 to 6 sessions. Remaining topics may take around 3 to 4 sessions. Approximately between 8 to 10 sessions, we will be able to finish the course. Now we will start working on this MongoDB. And first of all, what is MongoDB as per your understanding? What is MongoDB? What is MongoDB? As per your understanding. Just know as I said. Yes, MongoDB is a database. It's not a normal database, it is NoSQL database. Normally database means SQL should be used. But this is a NoSQL database, so no need of any SQL here. Without having SQL also we can work on it. But first of all, we have to do the setup here. We have to create the setup. Now, if I wanted to work on MongoDB, I have to go to a website called MongoDB. I'm just typing to this website, MongoDB. I'm clicking on C. MongoDB is a source available cross-platform document-oriented database program. I'll tell you what is this document-oriented, and classified as a NoSQL database program. NoSQL database program. MongoDB uses JSON-like documents with optional schemas. MongoDB is developed by MongoDB. So it was introduced around 2009. Now let us see. Now I'm clicking on this. They'll be giving some guess about MongoDB, and now you have to understand the differences. If I wanted to work on SQL-based databases, we have worked on MySQL. So basically, to work on MySQL, we have installed a software called MAMP. To run on SQL-based database, we have installed a software called MAMP. And here also we have to install a software. That software is a MongoDB community server. MongoDB community server. We have to install it. Here MAMP we have to install it. Here MongoDB community server we have to install it. And here you have to click on the start button to run the server. And here you have to give a command called MongoD to run the MongoDB community server. And here to see the databases, we have something called PHP myadmin. Using PHP myadmin, we can see what are the databases are there, what are its tables, what are its rows, columns, and all those things. Here, equivalent of PHP myadmin is we have something called Compass. We have something called MongoDB Compass. If you install MongoDB Compass, then you can see like PHP myadmin. And here, to perform any CRUD operations, you have to use SQL. Here, functions with parameters, basically no need of any SQLs. And here, we call it as databases. Here also we call it as a database. Here we call it as a database is a collection of tables. Here we call it as a collection. Database is a collection of collection. And here in table we call it as a rows. Inside table, here we call it as a document. So database is a collection of tables, and table is a collection of rows and columns here. Here database is a collection of collection, and collection is a collection of documents here. Understanding the differences between the MySQL approach and database with MySQL approach and database with MongoDB approach. Here we have to install MAMP, which is the application server. Here also we have to install application server, that is a MongoDB community server. And here in MAMP, if you wanted to connect from your Node.js application, you have to install and import MySQL packet. Here you have to install and import Mongoose package. So here you have to give the command. You have to click the button called start. Here you have to give the command called MongoDB. Here, to see the databases and the tables, rows, and columns, you have to open PHP myadmin. Here you have to open MongoDB Compass. Here you have to perform CRUD operations using SQL. Here you will be using functions with parameters. Here called as database. Here also called as database. Here you call it as a table inside databases. Here you call it as collection inside database. Here you call it as rows. Here you call it as documents. And here you have to use the MySQL JavaScript library to connect to MySQL database. Here you have to use Mongoose JavaScript library to connect with the MongoDB database. Right? Just to start with, first of all, we have to import this MongoDB community server. So what I will do, I'll just go to MongoDB, and here I'll click on products. Here you can see MongoDB community server. So we have enterprise server, we have community server. Enterprise server is paid service. Community server is free service, which you wanted to look it into free service. And here they have given the Compass also. If you install the Compass, you can open the database and see what are the files and all those things are there. And you don't need to install Compass separately; it will automatically comes with community server. Now I'm clicking on this community server, so it will ask us to download that community server. Now, which version you want it? Now they have automatically detected that it is Mac OS and it is showing according to the platform. If your system is Windows, you can use Windows. You can select Windows here. In your system, it will automatically show Windows. Windows. Then you select this MSI. Then you click on download. That exe file will be MSI file will be downloaded. Now MSI means Microsoft installable file has been downloaded. You can install this MSI file. This is in my system. In my system, I have to use Mac OS. In your system, if you are using Windows, Windows. Now it is downloaded. Now it is downloaded. If you double click on it, it will be installed in your system. Okay. But now let me show you briefly how to install this MongoDB community server in your system. Let me open. Uh, Probably you can find it in the YouTube also. So they are showing here how to install it. Here, basically, you can see how they are installing. Download and set up a MongoDB community server. Basic. Go to MongoDB website and select the version you want and select the operating system you want and download. Once it is downloaded, ad is coming. Once it is downloaded, then you double click on it. Then you can install it. This is how it looks while installing. Accept the terms and conditions. And custom is completely sufficient. Anything is fine. Wherever you want, you can install it. That's what they are showing basically. What they are doing. Then you have to install MongoDB as a service. You have to select that. Follow the instructions of this video. You can get it from YouTube. Then this is important. You have to select this install MongoDB compass, because if you don't install also, you can work, but you have to write so many comments actually. But if you install MongoDB compass, we can see the database directly. So make sure this is selected. Then install it. Hello Vishan, go ahead.
Sir, the video is paused, sir.
Now,
Now it's okay, sir.
because I have removed that. Okay. Now, basically, now you just are you able to see the video which I am showing?
Yes, sir.
Once it is installed, while installing, make sure you select the compass. Once it is installed, what you have to do, you have to do some configuration actually. Uh, you just go through this video, you will be understanding how to do the configuration. We have something called environment variables that we have to it. They have shown this video how to do that as well. You just go through that video, you will be understanding how to install it. Once it is installed, you have to go to environment variables and you have to give the path of that MongoDB. Once that is done, then you can give the command called MongoD. You can open terminal and type MongoD, then the MongoDB community server starts running. Usually for MAMP, we start like this, right? If I want it to start for MAMP, usually I'll click on this and I'll click on start button here. Then the MAMP server will start running. But when it comes to this MongoDB, I have to give a command called MongoD after installation, after environment variables configuration. Then you can give this command, then it will start working on it. Okay. Now, this is the case of Windows actually. In Macintosh, everything will run automatically. There is a you can download from Macintosh also, or there is something called in Macintosh. There is something called Brew. Through this Brew, we can install MongoDB. In Macintosh, I'm talking about. And once you install MongoDB, whether it will be automatically running it. There is no need of starting or stopping. It will be running automatically. But in Windows, you have to give the command called MongoDB to start running it. That's the difference. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show you, I'm just going to open this MongoDB Compass. MongoDB Compass. Now, as I said, in Macintosh, that MongoDB community server will be running automatically. But in Windows, you have to give the command called MongoDB. And after that, you just open MongoDB Compass. MongoDB Compass is a separate software which can be useful to see what are the databases are there. To see what are the databases are there. Now, this is the connection string to the MongoDB. Now, you just click on connect. Remember this MongoDB :/ localhost 27017 and say connect. Now, we are actually entering into that MongoDB. Now, see on the left hand side, you can see there are so many databases which I have created. These are the databases which we can see it early. Right? Now, again, I am telling you, from MySQL point of view, database is a collection of rows and columns. And from MongoDB point of view, database is a collection of collections. Now, this is a database. Inside that, this is called as collections. Now, users is called as collections. From SQL point of view, this is called as table. From here, it is called as collections. And if you see here, I have tried for MongoDB. Now I have just I'm typing MongoDB. Now see, MongoDB is a source available cross-platform document-oriented database program classified as NoSQL database. To perform CRUD operations on this MongoDB, no need of any SQL. It is just functions with parameters. And the MongoDB uses JSON-like documents. JSON-like documents with optional schemas. What exactly these JSON-like documents? Just to show you an example. I'm just going to PHP myadmin. This is a MySQL. Here we use PHP myadmin. For MongoDB, we use a Compass. And in PHP myadmin, it is showing databases. In Compass, it is showing databases. And in PHP myadmin, it is showing tables. It is showing tables. And here it shows collections. And the table is a collection of rows and columns here. But here, collects the collection of documents. It is a collection of documents. See, this is a document. This is a document. We call it. Now, this user collection has 14 documents in it. 14 documents in it, and everything is actually looks like an object. Looks like a JavaScript object. It is actually like JSON. Now, they have mentioned it clearly here. JSON-like documents. JSON-like documents. It looks like JSON basically because JavaScript objects. It looks like JavaScript object. Yes or no? Key and the value pairs. Have you observed it? Key and the value pairs. This is it looks like key and the value pairs. And to connect to MySQL, PHP admin through our application, we have to use a MySQL JavaScript package, and to connect with MongoDB, we have to use a Mongoose package. That we are going to do it. Understanding what I am saying? Any questions so far on this? Any questions so far on this? What is the equivalent of MAMP in MongoDB? What is the equivalent of MAMP in MongoDB? MongoDB permanent server, perfect. What is the equivalent of PHP myadmin in MongoDB? Compass. Uh, what is the equivalent of database in MongoDB? What is the equivalent of database in MongoDB? The equivalent of database in MongoDB is database only. The equivalent of database in MongoDB is database only. The equivalent of table in MongoDB is collection. See, the equivalent of MAM in MongoDB is MongoDB community server. Then equivalent of PHP myadmin is MongoDB compass. And equivalent of database is database. And equivalent of database is a collection of tables here. Here it's called as collection. And the table is a collection of rows and columns here. And we call it as a document. And this document holds key value pairs. Key value clear. And to run this MAMP, we have to click on the start button in MAMP, but here we have to give the command called Mongo V. In the Windows, you have to give. In Macintosh, no need to give anything. Okay. And to connect it to this MAMP, to connect it to this MySQL database, I have to use MySQL JavaScript package. Here I have to use something called Mongo. I have to use something called Mongo. Now what I am going to do? I am going to create a database and I am going to insert something into the database. The procedure is different here. We are not going to use any SQL here. Structured query language we don't need. Everything is function parameters that we are going to work on it. First of all, let me create it a simple application, simple Node.js application. Let us see. Mongo and here and say MDB. MDB means MongoDB. I am just opening it. Now I am just creating the basic setup. Server dot base. and I wanted to create a package.json file. It's a VM. Package.json file is created. Okay. Package.json file is created. Then I wanted to install packages. So I'll say npm install. I wanted to install Mongoose connected to MongoDB. I wanted to install Mongoose connected to MongoDB. And I can also install Express. I can also install the parts to connect to like. First, our focus is on mainly on Mongoose. So, install. These will be downloaded and installed. If I wanted to connect to MongoDB, if I want to connect to our database, I have to use MySQL package because we are using MySQL there. And here we are connecting to MongoDB. Connect to MongoDB, we have to use a package called Mongoose. Okay, it is installed. Now what I will do, I'll say const Mongoose. Okay. This is what we have done it. Now I wanted to use it. Now let us go to their documentation and we'll follow according to the documentation. I'll just type Mongoose npm. So I have installed, I have been to this Mongoose. Mongoose is a MongoDB object modeling tool designed to work as an asynchronous environment. To work in an asynchronous environment, this is very important. Mongoose supports Node.js and Django. Okay, fine, no problem. Now we'll just go through their document, their website, mongoose.js.com. And here we can get it how to connect it to database easily. Constant Mongoose is going to require Mongoose. We are importing it. First, we have to install it. Then we have to import it. After importing, we will say mongoose.connect. Then what we will do, we will be giving the path of that database. Now we are connecting to MongoDB. That's why you have to give MongoDB colon double slash the IP address of the system. You can give local host also if it is in the same system. Then the port 27017. Then this is the database name. This is the database name which we have to give. Now what I will do here, I'll say mongoose.connect. I'll say MongoDB double slash localhost 27017 slash the name of the database. Now the name of the database can be anything basically. Now I'll say Tata employees. Now I am trying to connect it to a database called Tata employees. Mongo. Okay. Once it is connected, okay, we are installing the Mongoose first, then importing the Mongoose, then we are connecting to that Mongoose. Now, the point you have to understand here, Any activity you perform, on MongoDB is asynchronous. Any activity you perform on MongoDB is synchronous. Like server communication is asynchronous, right? The same way, any activity you perform on the Mongo async. Any activity means it can be connecting to database or performing CRUD operations. Any activity is asynchronous. Any activity is asynchronous. Basically. Now we are connecting to MongoDB. Now I wanted to display whether it is not. Now here we can detect whether it is successfully connected or not because we are writing asynchronous code. So what I will do, I will write await, await, and I'll put it in try. Basically, what exactly is this? First of all, we are trying to connect database. It may connect or it may not connect. By chance, if it is not connecting, this may throw some error. This may throw some error. In that case, if any error comes, it will comes to the cache. Now, whatever you write it inside this try block, this is try block. This is a cache block. We call it. Whatever you write it inside the try block, whatever you write it inside the try block, it will execute the code, and if this code throws any error, it will not show to the user, and it will comes to the catch block with the error, with that error object. Now I'm just giving the error object. Now here I'll say console log. It simply say unable to connect database. Console log I'll say error. And when this catch block executes, if there is something wrong in this. Now, again, one more important thing you have to understand here. I have created a code to connect it to a database called Tata Employees. Even though that database is not there, the database is not there, the system will create it automatically. The system will create automatically and it connects it. It's like imagine the situation is like this. You have traveled the whole night and reached your home midnight 3 o'clock. Midnight 3 o'clock, you reached your home. Now you just ring the bell to enter into your house. Now your mom opened the door. Situation is like this. Now you are feeling tired and your mom asks, "Had your dinner?" Imagine you said no. I haven't had my dinner. Now what your mom does? Imagine you said you haven't had a dinner. What your mom does? What your mom do? You said I didn't have dinner. She prepares food. Yes. Imagine if food is there, she gives you. If food is not there, she prepares food and gives it to you. That is the difference actually. You don't want it to give trouble to your mom, so you ask midnight 3 o'clock to your hotel. Now the hotel says no, I don't have food. If they have food, they'll give. If they don't have food, they'll say we don't have. But they don't prepare something for you. But when it comes to your mom, if the food is there, she gives you. Food is not there, she prepares it and gives it to you. If food is not there, she prepares it and gives it to you. Exactly the same thing here. If a database is there, it will be connected to the database. If database is not there, it will create the database and connects it. That's what actually does. Now, for our understanding, I'll simply write a message saying connected to MDB, connected to MongoDB, and by chance, if there is something wrong in this, it will come to this part of the code and it will show the error and let me run it and say NPM start. Now see what happens. It message shows. So now it is showing error. Now let us see what is the problem. Await is only valid in async function. Now I have written any async. I'm writing everything here. Let connect to MongoDB and create asynchronous function and insert that. I'm writing all this. And I'm calling connect. It is saying connected to MDB. Actually, we don't have a database called Tata Employees here. I don't think so. We don't have a database called Tata Employees. Still, it is saying connected to DB. As I said, it will create the database automatically. But even though it creates the database, it will not show until and unless you have added some data in it. Until and unless you add some data in it, it will not show anything. So basically, what we have done, first of all, we have created the MongoDB setup. That means what? We have been to MongoDB, downloaded MongoDB community server, installed the MongoDB community server, and we have installed the package. Then we have configured by giving the MongoDB MongoDB environment variables that you can find it in the internet. How to do that? And I have created a project, created server.js, created package.json file, and I have installed Mongoose, which is a package which is useful to connect to MongoDB. And after that, I have connected. That's what I have. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to perform CRUD operations. Now I have connected to MongoDB. I have connected to MongoDB. In that MongoDB, I have connected to a database called Tata Employees, and I wanted to perform CRUD operations. I wanted to perform CRUD operations to start with C, means creation. That means basically insert. First, this insert part I wanted to do. What I what exactly here you have to understand. Here, database is a collection of documents. Database is a collection of documents, and document is nothing but a JavaScript-like object. It's a JavaScript-like object. Now, what I will do, first of all, I have to specify. I have to specify a schema. I have to specify a schema of object, schema of document. Document is nothing but object. Schema means what? Schema means the structure. Schema means the structure of the object. Structure means what key should be there, what are its types, data types, what are the values it should accept, what is right, what is wrong, and all those things we can specify in schema. Just to show you an example, now Tata employs the name of the database I have created. Now I'm going to create a schema here. Now observe here, I'll say let I'll say employee schema equal to mongoose dot schema. Mongoose dot schema, and here I have to tell what should be the name of the collection. Uh, Mongoose dot schema, and here I have to tell what is the name of the collection. Collection table here. I'll say employees, and that structure I have to tell here. Yeah, I'm creating schema like this. Now, what are the keys I want? We are talking about employees, so I'll say name. Data type is string. Then age. Data type is number. Then email. Data type is a string. And I think let us see. Let us take these three things only. Name, age, and email. These are the three things which I wanted to store. Right. We have created a schema. This is how our document will look like in employee table. Employee table. Now, if you observe here, this is the This is the document. Actually, we are creating how the document should be. See, before you construct a building, you will create a plan, right? Plan means what? How many rooms will be there? What is the size of it? Where it should come? All those details. It's a like plan. Here also the same thing. Schema is like a plan. Schema is like defining the structure of the object. The schema is ready. Now what I will do, based on the schema, we have to create a class. Now I'll say let the employee equal to, I'll say new mongoose dot model. And I'll say employees. Then I'll give employee schema. Basically, what is happening here? We have created a schema. Schema means what? how an object should be like. We said an object should be like name, age, and email. We have created the schema. We will be discussing in detail about this schema. There is so much is there like validation. We will be discussing about that. We can also control how many letters you wanted to allow, minimum letters, minimum age, email. So many things we can control it in the schema. Schema plays an important role. Schema means the rules of an object. Schema means the rules of an object house. Schema means details, and the rules of an object. Details and rules of an object. Details means what are the keys should be there, what are its data types. And the rules means how many characters it should be allowed, required or not required. Those kind of things we can control it. We'll be dealing in detail. Once the schema is created, then we have created a class called employee based on this schema by giving that employee schema. And what actually we are doing, we are creating a new mongoose.model. We are giving the name of the table, we call it as collection, and the schema. That means we are telling please store it into this table or collection. Then what I will do here, I'll say let for example I'll say Sachin is equal to new employee. Then here I'll say according to the schema name Sachin Tendulkar, age probably around 50. Then email Sachin at gmail.com. Now I have created this. Now I wanted to save into it. How do I save it? It says Sachin.save. Just call save. It will automatically save into database. But again, as I said, just every activity is asynchronous activity. That's why I'm writing asynchronous wait. So it will be waiting. And what I will do is saving. I wanted to do it in a function. So let save to MongoDB. I am creating a function like this, and I will write everything inside a function. I will write everything inside a function. Here I have write a syntax. Everything I have written it inside a function, and I wanted to call this save to MDB once we successfully connected to database. Now I wanted to call this. So basically, what is actually happening whenever we run the application, we have installed Mongoose, then we have imported Mongoose, then we are connecting to database, and if there is anything wrong in this, it will go to the else part and it will show there. If everything is successfully connected, then we are displaying the message successfully connected, and we are calling the save to MDB. And when it comes to save to MDB, what we are doing, we are creating the schema, we are creating the class based on schema, and we have created a copy of it, and we are saying such not saved. Now, if I run it, now even I can put it inside try catch also. Try. If anything wrong in this, then it will show error here. Or I say log saved successfully. Log saved log wrong. Now let us see. Now let me run our application. Enter. Let us see what happens. Connected to MDB. It is saying saved successfully. These are the messages given by us only. But I'll come here. I'll just click on the refresh button. Here we have reload data. I'm clicking on reload data. I should see a database named Tata employees. See here, you can see Tata employees here. I'm clicking on this. Now see employees table is there. We call it as collection. If I click on employees, now see here Sachin Tendulkar age, email. And in database, in MySQL database, we create something called ID and we generate unique ID. And here it will automatically, it does automatically for us. ID will be generated automatically. We don't need to give. If you want, you can give, but it will automatically generate for us. Understood how to save it using MongoDB. Understanding or not? Guys, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Fine. So basically, what we have done first, first we have installed a MongoDB community server. Then we have configured that MongoDB community server in environment variables. You can find this step in internet how to do this. Then if you wanted to run the MongoDB commit server, you have to go to terminal and type MongoDB. Then database will start running. Then create a Node.js project. Then package.json. Then server.js. In server.js, install Mongoose. After installing Mongoose, then mongoose.connect. Connect to database. Usually the connection string will be MongoDB :/localhost :2701/, the name of the database. If database is not there, still it creates it. But it will show only if you add something in it. Then after creating the database, what you have to do, you have to create a schema. Schema plays an important role. It is like a plan for the building. Building is like data. Plan is like plan for the schema is like plan for the building. Without plan, we don't construct building normally. Here also the same thing. First we create the schema. How do we create the schema? We say employee schema is equal to new mongoose.schema, and here we have created what be the schema like. Schema means what are the keys should be there, what are the type of values it should be, and once the schema is created, then we are creating a class based on schema by saying a class name. Usual class name starts with capital. That's why we have created the name employee is equal to new mongoose dot model, and you give the name of the collection we call it or table, and the schema, employee schema. It creates a new class, then create a new object for that class. We'll say let Dhoni is equal to new Dhoni, new employee. Then you give all the values here. Then Dhoni dot save. Save. Now I wanted to save multiple. What I can do? I can do like this. Sachin I have created. Likewise, I'll do it for let Virat is equal to new employee, new employee. Here name Virat only. Then age probably around 35 and email Virat email.com. Likewise, I will do it for Rohit Sharma. I will do it for Tony. Now I'm coming here. I'm just deleting it. I'm just deleting it. No data in it. Now if I run it, how many data will be saved? One, now if I run it, how many data will be saved? How many details will be stored into the database? As per this code, as per this code, how many details will be stored into database? As per this. Why only one? Why only Sachin? Very good. Why only Sachin? Perfect. We haven't called a save for yes. We haven't given a save for Dhoni, Rohit, and Virat. We have given only for Sachin. That's why it is not going to save. Now, if I wanted to save it, I can give Sachin dot save. Again, await Virat dot save. Again, await Rohit dot save. Again, await Dhoni dot save. Like this, I can give. This is one way. This is one way. Or if I have four users, I am just saving four. If I have 400, I cannot write 400 lines like this. This is one way, or I can simply say the class name which is employees, employee dot, there is a method called insert many. Insert many. Insert many, just give an arrow, that array. Then you give Sachin, Virat, Rohit, Rohit. Class name. This is a static method. Class name, which is employee. We have created that employee here based on this schema. This schema we have created here. So now, if I have 400 users or 40 users or 4,000 users, everything I'll keep it into an array in insert many. Then now let me run it. Now I'll say npm start. Now let us see what happens. Saved successfully. Now I'm coming here. Now I'm just refresh it. Let me click on it. Now see, I have reloaded the data. Now Sachin is there, Virat is there, Rohit is there, Dhoni is there. Either I can write like this, for each copy, save like that, or you just simply say employee dot insert many, Sachin, Virat, Rohit, and Dhoni. Now we are inserting it without using SQL query. Yes or no? Are we writing any SQL query? For inserting? If it is SQL, we have to write insert into, then table name, then column names and values we have to give it. If it is SQL. Here, it's just a function with parameters. Insert many is a function. There I am passing what I wanted to save as a parameter. That's it. Everything is saved. Everything is saved. Like insert many, we have another method is also there. This is for inserting, like create. This is employee dot find. This is for retrieval. Employee dot update many. This is for updating. Employee dot delete. This is for deletion. This is for creation. This is for retrieval. This is for updating. This is for deleting. Everything is parameters only. Now here, what I wanted to save, I am passing it as parameters. Here, what I want to get, I have to pass it as a parameter. Here, what I wanted to update, I have to pass it as parameter. Here, what I wanted to delete, I have to pass it as parameter. Right now, we have worked only on this, and these things also will be working at detail point, at detail, in detail a bit later point of time. But still, there is some more is there in insertion. Schema, I have just shown you briefly actually. Schema, I have just shown you name, string, age, number, email, string like that. I have just shown you, but there is so much in it. We have something called validations, which is a beautiful concept here that we will try to work in our next session. Got my point? Understanding or not? Before we work on these validations, I just want you to try how to insert it. First, install MongoDB community server. First, download and install MongoDB community server. Then set the environment variables. Then give the command called MongoD in the terminal. Then create a Node.js project, server.js. Then install Mongoose. Then using mongoose.connect, you connect it to the MongoDB using MongoDB colon double slash whost colon 2701 double slash. The name of the database you want. Even the database is not there, still you can connect it because it will be created at the time of connection, and it will be shown only if you have something inserted in it. And then you create the schema. Then based on the schema, you create the class. Then class instance dot save will be saved, or a class name dot insert many. You just give the instances of those classes, which will be saved. Understanding or not? Is something understanding or not? I just want you to try it. We have a concept called MongoDB Atlas. MongoDB Atlas means we can maintain the database into their website itself. Like without installing MongoDB Compass, MongoDB Community Server, you can directly connect it to their websites also, their website and store there. That will be working at later point. Okay, first I want you to try this. Let me create the task. MongoDB. I just want you to connect it to it, inserting. Later we'll be working on retrieval part, validations part, everything will be created task and it will take